Alors, bonsoir tout le monde. J'espère que vous allez bien et j'espère que vous continuez à vous laver les mains. On a vu les cas à Dublin, ça commence vraiment à être sérieux, hein, parce qu'on a eu plus de 400 cas aujourd'hui et il faut absolument que tout le monde suive les consignes données par notre gouvernement et essaie de faire en sorte que ce virus qu'il disparaisse, hein, un jour, j'espère bien. So, good evening, all of you. Bonjour, you're very welcome. So, tonight we're doing something a little bit different. Um, I have a student that is attending my online classes, and he sent me a couple of opinion pieces to correct because, as part of my lessons, I correct stuff for students that they send me. And I thought that it might be a good idea to go through his pieces on Facebook. So what I did was I called his parents and I looked for permission, and I obviously spoke to the student as well, and there was no problem. So I'm keeping his identity private, okay, which is, I think, only fair. But I am going to go through his work and I'm going to explain the good points and the not so good points of the particular essay that he sent me, okay? So the first thing is we're going to look at l'obésité et la question en fait c'était, oh je me souviens plus, c'était en 2015 je pense qu'il y avait une question sur l'obésité et la question était quelles sont les causes principales de l'obésité? So what are the principal causes of obesity? It gave a couple of chiffres or figures. Il a dit que d'ici 2030, 57% de la population sera obese. So it gave figures about the obesity levels. And the question, which was really important, was the question was, quelles sont les causes principales de l'obésité? So what are the principal causes of obesity? Now we're going to look at his opinion piece and you're going to see that he has some good arguments. I will be making a couple of recommendations as regards the structure and some mistakes that he made, that really he is the type of student that would be going for a H1 and has the capability of a H1, but it's not always apparent by his written piece. Okay, so I'm not going to say a huge pile, and we're just going to go straight into it. Okay, so what I always suggest is when you're doing an opinion piece, you think of five, right? So you kind of break your opinion piece into five different sections, right? So the first section should always be a general statement exploiting the stimulus material given, okay? So of course here it was all about l'Organisation mondiale de la santé et ce qu'ils disent, qu'ils prédisent pour l'Irlande et la situation actuelle avec tant de personnes qui sont obèses et d'ici 10 ans que sera la situation. So what will the situation be like by 2030, okay? So he starts by saying l'obésité est un problème énorme en Irlande qui concerne tous les gens de chaque âge. Now, he did make a mistake here, so I'm just going to go through the first thing. It should read, okay, and I have it here. It should be l'obésité est un énorme problème en Irlande qui concerne tout le monde, quel que soit son âge, quel que soit, at whatever age, okay? So that'll be really important that you get things right like this, okay? Another thing that examiners look at, we're really, well, I'm not an examiner anymore, I'm a former examiner, but something that we'd look at a lot is we'd look at if you're writing something, we'd want to make sure that you get your accents right, okay? So you have to put your accents on the right letters of the right words, and a really important thing in French is your rule of agreement. Now, your rule of agreement is very, very simple. It's basically if there is a masculine noun, okay, and if you want to use an adjective with that noun, it has to agree with the noun. Likewise, if you're using the past part of the verb, or what we call past participle, there has to be agreement there as well. So anyway, his opening piece was fine, okay, It's an enormous problem in Ireland which concerns everyone, no matter what age. So that was okay, that was fine. Look at the young lad that I'm talking about. I will say to him, listen, you can do more. You know, he's capable of writing a little bit more, okay? So then he goes straight into it, right? And he says, tout d'abord, okay? Now what he wrote and what I'm going to show you, I just want to be careful that we're in agreement with this, okay? So, tout d'abord, les causes principales du surpoids, which is very good. To use surpoids instead of l'obésité, and surpoids is excess weight, so that's absolutely fine. And I actually always say to my own students, look lads, what you need to be doing is getting your synonyms, getting your your different varied vocabulary. That's really important. Examiners do watch out for things like that. So, du surpoids chez les jeunes et la vie sédentaire. So there was where he made a mistake, okay? Because it shouldn't have been. What he said was the principal causes of excess weight among young people is a sedentary lifestyle, right? Now what he should have said would have been this. La principale cause de l'obésité chez les jeunes est un mode de vie sédentaire. You see, he said the primary causes of obesity is a sedentary lifestyle. And there, that showed straight away that there was no agreement, right? Because it was la principale cause, the principal cause is a sedentary lifestyle. So little things like that you're writing and you're really writing it fast, whatever, it's up to teachers to pick it up now so that you're going to stop making those mistakes, you know? It would be like saying the principal causes of obesity is. Well, of course, you'd have to say the principal causes of obesity are, and you name them, enunciate however many. But I've changed it a little bit, you see? I said right up at the top, and you can barely see it, in fact you can't see it, he has written des causes principales, A. So principal causes is. So that's completely wrong. So it should have been la principale cause de l'obésité chez les jeunes est un mode de vie sédentaire. Then he went on to say, au lieu de, comment on a dit, au lieu de passer du temps en plein air, okay, so instead of spending time out in the open, il reste, and he spelled that correctly, devant la télé, l'ordinateur ou la console de jeu. Le console. La manque d'exercice physique a un effet mauvais sur la santé des jeunes. I had no problem with any of that. He said, le manque d'exercice physique a un effet mauvais, which was absolutely fine, sur la santé des jeunes. Absolutely fine with that. Then he went on to say, aussi, il existe le problème de la malbouffe. So, la malbouffe would be junk food. Quand les parents vont au supermarché, ce sont trop souvent les enfants qui ont contrôle du cart. Cart, pas le bon mot. Le bon mot est chariot. Chariot is a shopping trolley. So he said that when parents go to the supermarket, it is often children who have control of the trolley. Totally agree with him. Really good point, right? Ils le remplissent, and R-E-M-P-L-I-S-S-E-N-T, perfect agreement there. Le cart, wrong, le chariot, des produits qu'ils préfèrent tels que. Now, this is where he made a mistake. He said, les bonbons, les chips, la pizza, et les sodas. Okay, why is that wrong? It's wrong because, okay, I've changed it around slightly. I've said, ce sont souvent les enfants qui contrôlent le chariot. Note that I have my agreement of my spelling for my verbs, which is really important. Ils remplissent, there's your ending, le chariot avec les produits qu'ils préfèrent, comme des encas sucrés, which would be sugary snacks, des bonbons, des chips, des pizzas, et des sodas. Now, he had written les chips, les pizzas, les sodas. Why do you think that I have a problem with that? Because we don't know specifically which pizza, which sweets, which whatever that the children are putting into the trolley. So you say some crisps, some sugary snacks, some pizza, because we don't know exactly which ones. Now, it may, to a lot of you are listening and saying, oh, well, that's not really a major deal. And I agree with you, it's not really a major deal, but make enough of these not really a major deal, and you've got yourself a major deal when it comes to the correcting. Look at H1s are as rare as hen's teeth, right? They do occur, and students do get them, okay? But they get them because they've earned them, right? You'll earn your H1, and how you earn your H1 is by not making these kind of errors, right? It's inexcusable for a H1 student or even a H2 student to be making mistakes like this, okay? That's kind of where it's at, okay? But again, look, this is a young fella that I know wants to do extremely well in college, right? Or do extremely well in the Leaving Cert in order to get a really good degree course in college, right? So this type of young fella is the type of young fella that I have to basically say, listen, I'll hound you with this because you have to get it right. I'd say something if he really didn't know, right? But a lot of mistakes that you find really good students make are mistakes of inattention, right? They're just not paying attention, they're not focused on it, right? So doing things like this is a good idea because you can see live, if you like, where you're making your mistakes, and it might have more punch, right? It might get you to really concentrate, okay? So then he said, now it's not bad at all, right? He said, à mon avis, which I love because I always tell you to bring in a personal point, l'Irlande a besoin d'un programme pour lutter contre le problème de l'obésité. So Ireland needs a program in order to combat or fight against the problem of obesity. Absolutely, grammatically perfect sentence, right? Il vise à modifier les habitudes alimentaires et les activités physiques des familles. On encourage les parents. Now, here then is where things went slightly wrong, right? So he kind of said it aims to modify. What I would have said there is ce programme vise à modifier les habitudes alimentaires, so the food habits, et les activités physiques des familles, and physical activity of families. There was nothing wrong with what he wrote. But what I said was, you see, what happened then was he went down and he said, we encourage parents to limit junk food and to provide a diet rich in vitamins and protein, right? Really good. So he said, on encourage, and he spelled that correctly, les parents, encourager quelqu'un à faire quelque chose, it should à limiter. Now, limiter should be in the infinitive because what you're doing, you see, if I hold that up, you'll probably see it better. Okay. Il encourage les parents à limiter. Note your limiter will be in the infinitive because, as I've said to my own students 500 times, and I'll say it another 500, if you've more than one sentence, or more than one verb in the sentence, that is not broken by a conjunction or qui or que, you are going to leave the second verb or third verb in the infinitive. So here, il encourage les parents à limiter la malbouffe et à, let me go to my next page because we've quite a bit, adopter un régime alimentaire riche en vitamines et en protéines, okay? So a diet rich in vitamins and protein, right? Then he said, en conclusion, si nous prenons very good, he made agreement there, like si nous prenons, he got the right form of the verb, de la responsabilité pour notre santé, nous mènerons une vie plus saine et par conséquent plus contente, right? Then the last 3-4 words made absolutely no sense because what he said was, in conclusion, if we take responsibility for our health, we will lead a more healthy life and as a result, more happy. More happy. That's it. More happy. So I had to kind of mix it around there and I said, you have to put another verb there, right? Because, okay, you've got a conjunction with a, so you're obviously going to be introducing another one. So I said, pour conclure, I said, he said en conclusion, pour conclure, it doesn't really matter. Si nous prenons la responsabilité de notre santé, nous mènerons un mode de vie plus sain et serons plus heureux par conséquent. And we will be happier as a result. Okay, you can't just write and more happy or happier, because you have to say we will be more happy. Okay, so that was his opinion piece on l'obésité, right? There was nothing wrong with what he did as regards the whole thing. I mean, he answered the question, he answered it well. Knowing the same fella, I know he can be pushed a little bit more, and that will be my raison d'être for the next year, because he has an awful lot more to give, right? Now, basically, when I'm talking about opinion pieces, I'm talking about doing proper structure. You've got a good introduction, right? Your introduction should exploit the stimulus material in some way, have something to do with it. Then you go with your first point. You could have had a counter argument. He didn't really have too much of a counter argument there, because it was all about the causes of obesity, and I'm not giving out to him about that, but the only thing I would have said is maybe another cause of obesity is, he should have listed 2 or 3. He did a personal point, okay, and I thought his personal point was quite good, and his conclusion was okay. The way he wrapped it up was okay. I would push for a longer conclusion with him, because again, you know the student that's in front of you, you know the ones you can push a little bit. When you know that there's more that they can give, right? There's more in the tank. Then he did one on equality, right? And it was basically, it was the question, just a couple of years ago, it was, do women's sports get as much media attention as men, right? So it was basically, it was an essay on sport, it was an essay on equality, it was an essay on the media, it was a couple of different things rolled into one. So let's just see how he did, right? Now, parts of it were quite technical, parts of it that I would have said you didn't need as much, but I'm just going to bring you through it and we'll see how it gets on, right? So he starts by saying, la discrimination est toujours présente dans la plupart des sports. Plus le sport est populaire, plus il y a l'argent et plus les inégalités se manifestent entre les femmes et les hommes. So he's saying, in fact it's la discrimination sexuelle, right? So sexual discrimination is still present in the majority of sports. More the sport is popular, more there is money, and more inequalities show themselves between men and women, right? Really solid opening, right? Really liked it. And I just want to show you here, because he wrote it and he did it well, right? He said, plus le sport est populaire, plus les inégalités se manifestent. And you note the way he did se manifest. He made sure that he was going to spell that right, okay? And that's really good. That's an example of good, solid French. He exploited the stimulus material. He kept it short enough, but you know what? It had punch, right? Which I liked. And then he went on. His first point, he spoke about sport, football being, in his view, one of the most important where inequality exists, right? And he said, now this is what he said, and I changed it, because he said, le football est l'important pour inégalité, right? First and foremost, it's l'inégalité. You can't just say inégalité just like that, out of the air. You have to put a determiner in front of it, so l'inégalité. But I just changed it around and I wrote, le football est un exemple d'inégalité. So football is an example of inequality, or c'est un jeu où l'inégalité est souvent associée à ce jeu. That you could say inequality is often associated with this game. Now, he went into very technical sport, okay? So he said, our very technical language, he said, c'est le sport le plus populaire et c'est lui où l'inégalité entre les femmes et les hommes est la plus grande, okay? So it's the greatest. So he said, it's the most popular, and that where inequality between men and women is most strongly felt, if you like, right? C'est lui, lovely use of c'est lui there. But just a thing that he made mistaken, right? It's c'est le sport le plus populaire et c'est lui, referring to the sport, où l'inégalité entre hommes et femmes est la plus grande. Now, Where I have a problem is this OU. He never put his accent on it, right? And because he left out the accent, it means or. So a little cringeworthy way of remembering it. You have two ways. You've two. Okay, you've an OU without the accent and an OU with the accent. The OU with the accent means where. So I always say an easier way to remember it is just say where is the accent. Okay, that's absolute cringy, but you know what? You'd be amazed that you'd actually remember it from something like that. Okay, so let's now. He went on an awful lot about. Look at, he told me how many players played football and how many women played. So I'm just going to listen to this, right? Il y a 137 1021 joueurs de football professionnel dans le monde contre 1287 femmes qui jouent à titre professionnel. Now, qui joue, and he spelled that Jouent, which is brilliant, à titre professionnel in a professional capacity. Again, showing very strong knowledge of French there, okay? Cette différence énorme de nombre est un facteur de la différence de salaire. Le joueur de PSG Neymar a été payé 36,5 millions d'euros pour une saison, le même montant que 1693 joueuses réunies dans les ligues européennes. C'est fou. Again, he said about Neymar was paid 36.5 million for one season, and the same amount as 1,693 women players réunis, kind of all together in the European League. It's mad. C'est fou. So you know, there's little things like that really cause me to recognize that he is good, you know. But then he goes on, right, and he said, la manque de parrainage et de campagne publicitaire contribue également à l'augmentation de l'écart entre les sexes. La plupart des entreprises donnent la préférence aux stars du sport masculin. So he's saying a lack of sponsoring and publicity campaigns also contribute, and he used également for also, which I really like, to the rise in the gap between the sexes, right? Most companies give preference to masculine stars, right? To the male stars. I would actually totally agree with him, and it is a very well made point. But I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something quite terrible to him at the end. Because he has some really good points in this. But look, I just wrote it up here for you. L'absence, so l'absence de parrainage des campagnes publicitaires contribue. So your l'absence is where your verb is going to agree. Également, et creuser le fossé entre les sexes, right? Creuser le fossé, he said something about augmenter l'écart. It means the same thing. It's like to widen the gap, right, between the sexes. And then he said, il y a un besoin de changement car les hommes et les femmes font le même effort et ils méritent le même, à mon avis. So he said there is a need in a change because men and women have to make go to the same effort, and they deserve, ils méritent le même, à mon avis. They deserve the same, in my opinion. Now, there's one little problem, okay, in all of this, right? I'll just show you. Oh yeah. I changed around the last bit that he wrote as well. I just said, il est nécessaire de changer les choses car les hommes et les femmes font le même effort, right? They go to the same effort, à mon avis. Would you believe that this young fella would not have done well in that opinion piece? And you wonder why. And the reason is, first of all, there is a structure to it, okay? There was a very good opening statement, okay? He didn't talk about TV or the media, really. Very, very little, you know? He just said that a lot of companies prefer to give money to stars. I don't see TV mentioned. I don't see la diffusion des matchs, which is transmission of matches. Don't really see anything about media, which is what this was about. Okay, so do you see what I mean? Like, he had his personal point. He had no conclusion, right? There was absolutely zero conclusion. So I was kind of disappointed with that, right? Because he just, he didn't really do an awful lot as regards conclusion, when he could have had a very good conclusion, right? But the main issue I have with that opinion piece is, whereas his obesity opinion piece was brilliant because it ticked all the boxes for me, right? I mean, okay, there were mistakes of grammar and things like that, but overall, it was about what are the principal causes. He gave me a cause or two. Now, he should have given me more. That's the other side of it. But he did answer the question. Here, as far as I'm concerned, he rambled on about how many people play sport, how many people play, what they earn, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't about that. The question was that there's more airtime given to men than women. So if you didn't make mention of the fact that la diffusion des matchs, la transmission, la popularité des matchs, like for example, I was doing this with a class there during the week, and I was kind of going, prenons l'exemple de notre équipe de hockey et comment ils ont atteint le sommet de leur sport et tout le monde voulait les regarder, mais c'est l'exception. So I was saying about when the hockey team did extremely well, everybody wanted to watch them. There was a huge frenzy around hockey, but it's kind of hit and miss with the women, right? And it's constant when the men are playing, everyone wants to watch it. That was what that opinion piece was based on. As I say, the obesity one was better. He had some good points. Like, there is no denying that the young fella had a lot of good points, right? The other side of it is, it's really nice because I know him personally and I know what he's capable of. So I can sit here and say to you, yeah, I know that he needs to now really concentrate on how he's going to approach his structure, how he's going to do things differently, okay? Because actually, once your structure is right and once you abide by those rules of agreement, there is very little that can go wrong with you on the day, okay? Because remember, your examiners are not looking at you to split the atom. They just want a decently put together piece. And yeah, so voila. So now, look, this was a particular Facebook Live that I really enjoyed. I love correcting people's work. So if you would like to send me anything, you can, or you can DM me, get in touch with me. Likewise, if you'd be interested in attending one of my online lessons, get in touch with me, because it's actually anybody that does attend, I ask them to send me, I set work for them every week, and they send it back to me, and I just correct it, and I look at it and I tell them, well, this is where you're going right, this is where you're going wrong, and I'd correct it for them. So look, it was an absolute pleasure being here this evening. I hope you enjoyed it. J'y serai de retour la semaine prochaine. Alors moi, je pense que ce serait jeudi encore. Alors j'y serai jeudi soir vers 19h. Si vous avez des suggestions, des questions, je ne sais pas quoi, qu'est-ce qu'il y a, n'hésitez pas à m'envoyer des choses et je peux en discuter. Et je vous souhaite tous bonne soirée. Merci beaucoup. À la semaine prochaine. And I would see my own students during the week. Merci beaucoup. Now, where do I stop it? Here I go. Voila.